Free trade only works when it's fair. China is not playing by the rules, and U.S. workers are harmed as a result. China is, by any measure, keeping its currency artificially weak and engaging in trade practices that are harming the United States economy. By devaluing the yuan relative to the dollar, China is essentially subsidizing its exports and taxing U.S. imports at the expense of U.S. companies and workers. It has been estimated that the yuan is undervalued relative to the dollar by as much as 40%, effectively subsidizing Chinese manufacturers and spurring our $273 billion trade deficit with China. The Economic Policy Institute has estimated that the trade deficit with China has cost the United States economy 2.8 million jobs. 1.9 million of these were manufacturing jobs. Between 2001 and 2010, this period we saw this job loss. It resulted in Rhode Island, in that period, of approximately 12,000 jobs that were lost. A recent study by a team of 3 economists confirmed what many in my state already know, that jobs in Rhode Island are among the most vulnerable to cheap Chinese imports. So much of our efforts are focused today, and should be focused today, in growing our economy, measured not just by GDP, but more importantly by jobs. And this is one of those measures that is consistent with growing jobs here in America, and also respects the fact that in order for trade to work in the world, the trade has to be fair as well as free, that everyone has to follow the rules, that there's no exceptions. What we expect of ourselves, we should demand of others, and that's what's at the heart of this bill. Currently, private businesses in the United States are not able to compete on a level playing field with Chinese manufacturers and exporters that have an unfair advantage because the Chinese government is manipulating its currency. When countries stack the deck for companies and industries that they control, it hurts businesses here in the United States. The effects of unfair currency manipulation have caused far too much harm for far too long. It has resulted in distorted trade balances that have hurt U.S. workers and our nation's economy as a whole. This legislation will strengthen the tools we have to make sure our businesses can compete on a fair and level playing field against foreign companies that benefit from an undervalued currency. Let me be clear that this is not a silver bullet for our economy, and there are many other steps we have to take. So as we continue to press for solutions to revitalizing our economy, with a front and center focus on saving and creating jobs, addressing unfair subsidies and trade practice must be part of this effort. So I would urge swift passage of the Currency Exchange Rate Oversight Reform Act.